So these are the most common psychologists that you see.
Hello everyone, I am Nishigandha and I'm a psychologist working at OLife Counselling, and this is.
Hi, I'm Kelly Norona and I'm a psychotherapist at OLife Counselling.
So here we are going to talk about the types of psychologists that are they are quite common, and starting off.
Yeah. So the reason we're doing this video is because we just wanted people to have a clear distinction as to what roles each type of psychologist plays. Because there are a lot of type of psychologists, not just counselors, or just mainly put them into psychologists. So we have clinical psychologists, we have child psychologists, we have school psychologists, we have psychotherapists, we have research and experimental psychologists. Am I missing anything?
School psychology.
Yeah. So these are some of the most common psychologists you see, and of course we have counselors. So these are the most common psychologists that you see. So I'll first start off with clinical psychologists. So clinical psychologists basically use science, theory, and their clinical knowledge to understand, prevent, and help people in their well-being, basically, and to help them relieve psychological distress and dysfunction. Usually, clinical psychologists also engage in research, teaching, forensic trials, wherein they go to court and they can partake in testimonies. They also work with individuals, couples, families, and groups in various locations and settings. Most of the time, their area of practice or the locations that they practice in can be hospitals, NGOs, or any kind of private practice if they have. They can work for forensic trials, like in courts. So that's a little bit about clinical psychologists. Now, Nishi will speak about
Counseling. So, counselors are basically providing guidance to your everyday problems in specific areas that can be emotional, social, work, school, and even physical health issues. Physical health issues can be eating and sleeping problems. So, they provide guidance with specific areas like these, and also they guide you with relationship problems and your other personal issues like these. Coming to their functions, mainly how do their procedures is they provide assessments, they diagnose you, and also give you treatments for the other psychological issues. That's about counseling.
The next type of therapists are psychotherapists. Psychotherapists are basically part of, or they are a center of clinical psychologists. Clinical psychologists have other parts, like they do assessments and frameworks, but also one is they do psychotherapy. So psychotherapists are mental health professionals that can be psychiatrists, psychologists, mental health nurses, clinical social workers, marriage and family therapists, and professional counselors. Now, psychotherapists deal with disorders of the mind or of the personality by psychological methods, by using psychological or by using the concepts laid out by psychological principles for assisting people to modify their behaviors, their cognitions, their emotions, and or their personalities and their characteristics. Psychotherapists or psychotherapy as a practice is also known as talk therapy, where because it's something that people believed in the past to be where someone would go and just easily talk out and voice out your problems and issues. But it's not for all. Talk therapy isn't for everyone because certain people, like children and some adults, are not able to voice out their problems. The settings and the places that psychotherapists work in they can be personal clinical places or personal practices, and working for a public place or a public NGO service or something like that.
Okay. Yeah. So next I would like to talk about a school counselor. So a school counselor is basically a professional member to an educational team, okay, wherein they assist students in helping them with various areas such as like personal, social, academic and career. So they guide them with their with these areas wherein they can try and open up to them, and they can provide the children with the help that is needed. Also, the school counselors have do sessions individually as well as group sessions. So they also teach and give leadership programs, and yes, they sometimes observe students during their class hours, and they try and help them in dealing with their other problems, such as why are they sleeping in class or such related issues. That later they go and they report to their teachers in how they can probably improve or take care of the children. So that's
Finally, in my section, we have experimental or research psychologists. These psychologists are basically use scientific methods in order to collect data and perform research. The data that they collect depends on what kind of field they're interested in, or what kind of area they work in, or what is their level of education, or what is the type of education they've done. They generally explore psychological phenomena like learning, perception, cognitive processes, and like I said, these depend on the level of education, the place they're working in, and what is their interest. Most of the work that they do are on humans, especially when it comes to the mind and the behaviors, but they also do research on the behaviors of animals. And most of the research that they do, either on animals or humans, they mainly is learning, perception, sensation, memory, and attention. So these are the areas, or these are the types of things that they study. The places they work at are schools, research labs, government facilities, or any government research service that is provided to them.
okay. Lastly, coming to the child psychologists, they are mainly known as the developmental psychologists too. But these child psychologists basically observe on variety of aspects that can be social, cognitive, emotional, and behavior. So they basically observe, they understand, and they interpret what the problems the child is facing, and they act upon it. Also, they involve the parents as to how they have to deal with their children and give them a better understanding to it. They also teach them the coping mechanisms, and also they detect and identify other deviant problems in regard to behaviors.
Alright, so that was all. If you found this video to be a little abrupt and a little bit short in a very concise manner, that's because it was meant to be. we meant to just outline what each therapist or each psychologist do, what they are, how they are different from one another. It can be seen. So that is something we just wanted to show. If we do have the time and if we can, we'll maybe put up individual videos of us talking about each psychologist in detail about what they do, how they do it, the types of therapy they use, where you can find them, and what kind of issues they deal with. But I still hope that this video helps you a little bit and or gets you interested in things that we do and helps you understand a little bit about us.
So that's it.
Yeah.
And please do share, like, and subscribe.
Yeah. Also, don't forget to comment your suggestions and any other things. Visit our website for information about the services that we offer. It's olifecounseling.com. Thank you.